Hello Tigers, and welcome to the TMNtv newscast for Wednesday, March 11, 2020. Stay tuned for the latest news at Fort Hays State University and around Northwest Kansas and the nation. I am Lauryn Davis, and Lexi Gross and Haley White will join us later to fill you in on what's going on around the rest of the news and sports world. But first, here's what's making news in Tigerland. Whether you are a firm believer that the coronavirus situation is not being planned for enough or is being blown out of proportion, the fact is the illness is making headlines across the globe. The first reported case of the virus was found to be in Johnson County last week. The 50-year-old woman has self-quarantined herself. It is believed she contracted the illness after traveling to the northeast part of the U.S. earlier this week. The Kansas Department of Health and Environment said it has tested 12 people for coronavirus, with only one of those tests being positive. Other states in the U.S. have seen spread of the illness, and more than 110,000 cases have been reported around the globe. Agencies in Kansas are continuing to monitor the situation, and many have provided health tips to avoid catching the virus. Special Olympics canceled its annual state basketball and cheerleading competitions later this month in fear of the illness spreading. The Kansas State High School Activities Association even posted on its website a public health and safety announcement prior to the state high school basketball tournaments this week in 6 cities. The document says KSHA has been monitoring the situation closely along with health officials, and people should take precautions if they believe they are sick or have come into contact with someone who is ill. It also mentions there has been no widespread circulation of coronavirus in most areas of the U.S. There was excitement Sunday night when the FHSU women's basketball team learned it would be playing in the D2 postseason tourney. The Tigers were picked as the number 7 seed and will play Minnesota Duluth at 2:30 p.m. Friday in Warrensburg, Missouri. It is the 5th appearance for the Tigers in the last 6 seasons. Haley will have more on this story later in sports. As the Hays USD 489 Board of Education works its way towards another bond issue, the members heard information from a group at Monday's meeting about how it can help the district with a successful bond vote. The DLR group talked to members about how increased taxes in the community can help the district improve facilities. DLR is from Kansas City and has worked with schools in other cities for bond issues. The group members told the BOE that engagement in the community is a first step in creating a plan for educational improvements. BOE members were told they should engage with each other in making a firm plan that residents can get behind. DLR also said collecting and analyzing data will be important, as well as being able to answer questions on how a bond issue can work for everyone to make the future bright for students. The district has had its last 2 attempts at a bond issue fail with voters. Forsyth Library at FHSU is bringing one-room schoolhouses back to life. A new oral history of the buildings is available at the university's digital collection. The collection details a valuable record of the history and education in rural Kansas, according to University Relations. The collection consists of 213 oral histories, including interviews with former teachers and students. The interviews include talks about subjects, classroom conduct, and educational norms. It also hits on topics during the Great Depression and Dust Bowl. For more information on the collection, stop by Forsyth Library on campus. When we return from this short break, Lexi will be here with more news from around the region.
Leadership is an interdisciplinary applied social science. So what that means is it's interdisciplinary in nature, which means that we bring in research and theories from a whole variety of different academic disciplines, and we put them together in ways that help students become effective agents of change in a whole variety of organizational settings. We teach transferable skills that work in lots of different organizational contexts. So things like change making and how organizations handle change and promote positive change, communication skills, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, a whole variety of other things that can be applied in lots of different types of situations.
I've learned a lot, especially through self-reflection, that is a big part of the leadership program. It's given me a lot of new tools and abilities to handle conflict, as well as showing me that I can be creative and I can do different things than what I'd always thought I was able to do.
I think that's so unique within the leadership department is we work on those personal development skills and how to be more empathetic towards other people and how to make our team members better people and how to make ourselves better people. And I think that's one thing that I've really appreciated and taken away from my time here at Fort Hays and in the leadership studies department is that it doesn't take a whole lot to be kind.
You know, leadership studies is all about how you work with people, how you connect with them, how you develop relationships. When I look at our students, I just want them to know that they can create change just as much as anybody else can. And that is what leadership studies is all about, is working with other people to create positive change, whether it be in our organizations, communities, or even the nation or world.
My name is Allie and I'm a senior business major at Fort Hays. I love working for TMN. It has made me a more experienced photographer and really helped me professionally due to all the changing environments and the different opportunities. I've also been able to meet and talk to a lot of people, which has helped bring me out of my shell.
Welcome back, Tigers. I'm Lexi Gross, breaking down what's going on around the region and state. Bernie Sanders might not have the high ground in the 2020 elections anymore. Former Vice President Joe Biden won big in Tuesday's smattering of primary elections. He claimed victories in Idaho, Mississippi, Missouri, and Michigan. Results are still coming in from Washington State and North Dakota, but the results show that Biden is starting to gain a leg up on Sanders. The two candidates will next face off in a Democratic debate in Arizona. This debate will take place on Sunday night and can be viewed on CNN. The coronavirus continues its worldwide spread, and many schools and businesses are working to contain this disease. Around the world, 118,000 cases have been confirmed. Countries like Italy have begun a nationwide lockdown, while New York's governor established a containment zone. In the U.S., Washington State has the most confirmed cases of 273 infected and the result of 23 deaths. So far, only one case has been confirmed in Kansas and is located in the Johnson County area. Companies across the country like Google have started asking their employees to work from home if they can. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends to wash your hands often and to avoid close contact with anyone that may be ill. If you are sick, they ask that you stay home and cover your coughs and sneezes. The mayor of Kansas City, Missouri was turned away at the polls when he tried voting in the state's primary election. Mayor Quinton Lucas tweeted on Tuesday that he was turned away because he was told he wasn't in the system. He clarified that he was later notified the poll worker had been mistaken, but he argued that it shows the ways voters without the sway of public office could be shut out of the democratic process. A director of the Kansas City Election Board said in a video posted to Twitter that the mistake was made because a poll worker swapped Lucas's first and last names when looking up his registration. According to the New York Times, Lucas said he spent 10 minutes trying to convince a poll worker that he was a registered voter. In his tweet, he said that he has voted in the same place for 11 years. He later told the New York Times that he understands mistakes happen, but that we need to have a system where we don't have mistakes. When we return from this short break, Haley will be here with a look at sports.
Tiger Media Network is the independent student media organization here at Fort Hays State University. It encompasses audio, video, print, photography, digital news. There's a little bit of everything at TMN.
They offer so many different events, opportunities, so many different things to go out and do and learn so that you can make a more compelling story and just help develop you as a storyteller.
I toured this facility and I saw this radio station and then the TV studio, and I was like, yeah, this is something that I definitely need to be a part of. Here, you know, I was instantly able to make my own content, being able to broadcast my own shows.
If you have a passion about sports or about news, it doesn't matter. You can come here and you can work from day one and get that experience that demonstrates your ability to be a professional in the media industry.
Hello Tigers, I'm Haley White with the Sports Update. FHSU women's basketball is headed back to the NCAA D2 Championship Tournament for the third straight season. The Tigers claim the number 7 seed in the Central Region and will play the second seed Minnesota Duluth in the quarterfinals. Duluth lost to the Tigers earlier this season 59-51. 2 other MIAA schools will also make an appearance in the tournament, as Central Missouri claims the top seed and Emporia State sits at number 4. Central Region quarterfinals will take place in Warrensburg, Missouri, where the Tigers are set to tip off against the Bulldogs at 2:30 p.m. on Friday. FHSU baseball moved to 1-5 in conference play after number 15 Central Oklahoma swept the Tigers in a 3-game series in Hays. The Tigers have a tough week ahead as they host second-ranked Central Missouri Thursday and Friday. First pitch of the doubleheader Thursday is scheduled for 1 p.m. at Larks Park. FHSU softball split its first week of conference action, falling to Central Missouri in both games of the doubleheader on Friday, but sweeping Lincoln 8-0 in both games on Saturday. Strong pitching paved the way for the 2 Tiger wins as senior Haley Chapman threw her first shutout of the season in Game 1, giving up just 3 hits and striking out 6 batters. Junior Megan Jamison matched Chapman's performance on the mound in Game 2, producing a 2-hit shutout and striking out 4. The Tigers will be on the road for the remainder of play this month, starting off their road trip this weekend in Oklahoma with 2 doubleheaders against Rogers State and Northeastern State. FHSU tennis started off its spring season on a high note, claiming 2 victories over NAIA competition last week. The Tigers swept all matches on the day against both Kansas Wesleyan and Hastings College to win 5 straight. The Tigers will face Tabor College on the road Thursday before beginning conference play next week. 5 FHSU wrestlers will travel to Sioux Falls, South Dakota this weekend in hopes of claiming a national title at the NCAA D2 Wrestling Championships. Brandon Ball, Lauryn Davis, Arius Jones, Mason Turner, and Marty Verhage paved their way to the tournament after placing in the top 3 at the Super Region 4 Championships. Turner will compete in the 125-pound bracket as the number 7 seed and will face Zachary Collins of Findlay in the preliminary round. Ball claims the number 3 seed of the 141-pound bracket and will wrestle Nick Young of Gannon in the first round. Verhage will face Philip Springsteen of the University of Mary as the number 8 seed in the 174-pound bracket. Jones is unseeded at 184 pounds and will face the number 8 seed Zabrandon Gant of Newberry. Davis will take on 5th seeded Nicholas Mason of Tiffin at 197 pounds. Pole vaulter Ryan Stanley and high jumper Summer Craigle will represent FHSU track and field this weekend at the NCAA D2 Indoor National Championships in Birmingham, Alabama. Stanley enters the national meet 9th on the D2 performance chart after clearing 16 feet 10 1/4 inches earlier this season. This will be his second national appearance after placing 4th in last year's outdoor meet. Craigle will make her debut in the national meet, ranked 15th on the performance list, after posting a personal best jump of 5 feet 7 1/4 inches. With March Madness on the horizon, number 1 University of Kansas men's basketball team earned several all-conference honors from the league's coaches, including Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. Senior center Udoka Azubuike leads the Big 12, averaging 13.7 points and 10.5 rebounds a game. Junior guard Marcus Garrett earned Defensive Player of the Year honors with 56 steals. The first round of the Big 12 tournament began Wednesday as number 8 Oklahoma State played number 9 Iowa State and number 7 TCU played number 10 Kansas State. The winners of both games will face number 1 Kansas and number 2 Baylor in the quarterfinals. That concludes this episode. Tune in next week for another episode of TMNtv. To stay up to date on the latest news and information throughout the week, visit TigerMediaNet.com. Until then, remember, roar Tigers. and cover your coughs.